But your real task is to remember the concluding words of each statement. Have a look at this selection of words.
Can you identify the final word from statement 1? Jot down the correct word.
Now the same for statement 2. Which word did it end with?
On to statement 3. Write down the correct word. What about the fourth statement? Again, write down the correct word.
And which word did the final statement end with? Well done. You've completed the test and should be able to solve the mystery if you selected the correct options. Well, here are the words you needed to remember. Most people are able to remember about 3 words, and once it gets above that, they start to struggle.
And here's how the 5 words helped you solve the mystery. Having been missing for 7 years, the painting was eventually found in West London. After constant publicity, an informant came forward. He directed the estate manager to drive to a bus stop, and there, in a plastic bag, was the painting. Apart from the loss of its frame, it was undamaged and has now been safely restored to its rightful home.
To this day, the thief is unknown, and no one has ever been prosecuted. But what does this test show us? In the true-false round, you had to think, and that meant using processing power. You also had to remember the last words of each statement, so you had to think and remember at the same time. And as you've probably realised, that's much harder than it sounds.
That last test shows just how important memory is to problem solving.
So that's our mystery solved and your memory fully tested. Hopefully you've picked up some tips along the way. And if you want specific help in a particular area, go to CFAX page 615.
And now let's catch up with Morgan Faraday and the rest of the gang at the maze. As they come to the end, both teams are feeling rather confident.
Hey, this is it.
So Robert, how did everyone do?
Well, it turned out that both teams took about the same amount of time to get to the centre, but the landmark team asked for fewer hints. So they made fewer errors, and it's kind of as I expected, that memorising a series of landmarks is actually much easier than memorising an app.
So Morgan, how's this victory for you? Because you've had some problems with spatial memory functioning in the past.
This has been an amazing tip of how to sort things out, and I've had a wonderful time.
And our other volunteers? Dave Frost's prospective memory appears to be much improved.
There you go.
He's even remembered his wife's birthday. Maz, the school teacher, is getting top marks on many of our tests. And Angie is no longer floored by those Latin plant names.
All that remains is our last volunteer. Earlier we saw Aubrey here struggling to remember the lyrics to his songs.
Of all the good we failed to do, we can't forget, we must forget, oh damn.
Right.
That was 2 weeks ago, but tonight he's hoping to turn all his hard work into a flawless performance in front of our Memory Manor volunteers. Earlier this morning I caught up with him.
It's all about believing you can do it, and I think what's happened to you, Aubrey, over the years is because you have had this piece of paper in front of you, you've built up this belief that it is impossible for you to perform without a prop. But I think you're going to do it.
I think so too. I do now. You know, it ain't over till the fat man sings.
So off you go.
Thanks.
And while Aubrey gets ready for his grand finale, it's time for us to say goodbye.
We've had a wonderful day here. Thanks to all our experts and volunteers for taking part, and to the Marquis of Bath for letting us transform his home. From all of us here, good night.
Take it away, Aubrey.
Like all survivors, I once thought, when I'm home I won't give a damn. But now I know I'm caught, I'll never leave Vietnam. War isn't over when it ends. Some pictures never leave your mind. They are the faces of the children, the ones we left behind. They're cold, we toys, the dust of life, conceived in hell and born in strife. They are the living reminders of all the good we failed to do. We can't forget, must not forget, that they are all our children too. These are souls in need, they need us to give. Someone has to pay for their chance to live. Cold winter.
Word perfect, a tremendous achievement. If you want to find out more about any of the subjects mentioned tonight or test yourself again, then don't forget our web address, bbc.co.uk/memory. There you can take part in a scientific memory study conducted by Edinburgh University and join the Radio 4 search for the UK's best autobiographical memories.
Our children.
And on BBC Radio 4 now, more ways to sharpen your memory.